So first of all, thank you so much, Amarjit, for inviting me to share my thoughts and my work that I have done on integrating modern medicine and Ayurveda. So real life is that I would say that it's an ancient science. 5,000 years ago, Ayurveda was there when modern medicine did not exist. People were dying. Yes, there were few, but not everybody was dying. So why modern medicine has to be the only medicine to treat and cure the disease? And that's my first question for all of us to think together. And hopefully we'll start getting some answers by the afternoon. So that's my first point. Second point is perhaps thanks to Sunil for reminding the declaration of interest or conflict of interest. So I'm a consultant in the NHS, have been trained as allopathic doctors for 32 years and have worked in the NHS and have been chair of the Regional Council of BMA. I have chaired the Central Specialist Committee of the Royal College of Pediatrics and Childhood. And I am GMC Associate, which is the General Medical Council to accredit and approve the applications to become consultant through CSER route. However, and I also chair the National Education Committee of Pediatric Gastroenterology and Nutrition, which is my main interest. And I will hopefully demonstrate on how all that rich experience combined with the rich experience and knowledge of Ayurveda can it bring it in a form of fusion, which Sandy Verma has talked to us this morning that we need a fusion. East means West. That's what we need. Because currently there have been a parallel line. People from Ayurveda have been talking, we are good, we are good, we are good, we are good. Modern medicine is saying, we are the best, we are best, we are best. The patient doesn't care. Patient needs a relief. Patient needs something to be done, whether it is yoga, Ayurveda, modern medicine, Qigong, Tai Chi, all that. So we have created something called integrated healthcare system. So I think that we will talk about. So these were there. On the other hand, I have worked with Bhaktiyo for more than 25 years now. I chair the Yorkshire division of Bhaktiyo, and I'm so glad that Bhaktiyo is supporting this mission so that we as a human being, Bhaktiyo is British Association, so that is British Association of Indian origin. We originate from India and Ayurveda originate from India. Why not we support? So I think that's the thing. And hopefully that is one of the crux which is sparking the motivation to go for it. So, can I have next slide, please? My interest, why I'm interested in Ayurveda? My interest in Ayurveda sparked when I was a child. My mother had severe cough pain and she used to cry with pain. She used to take something called ergopirin, and that was the medicine, the painkiller at that time. And she used to take tons of that when she was going to railway hospital where she used to get it. And I was thinking at that time, what is there? There needs to be some sort of religious response. And then subsequently, a Vaidya has come and he has given some kada and some leaf which my father has to get from somewhere. And she tying the leaves and drinking the kada. In a week's time, pain has gone. So during my medical career as a medical student, before I finished my MBBS degree, I did a diploma in Ayurvedic medicine simultaneously, spending my summer holidays going there and reading the rest of the stuff so as to bring the fusion. Can I have the last slide, please? So we need to have that laser sharp focus on this part, and time is right now, so that there is a fusion. It's the allopathic part of the medicine, or modern medicine as it's called, and the Ayurveda part of medicine, which is include the yoga, Ayurveda, and the herbal medicines together to bring the best care to the patient who we serve. Next slide, please. So those of who have seen, I was on BBC Question Time, and I challenged the Prime Minister that when he said we will bring £100 million more into that, where is going to bring? There is a need to redesign system, and I'm glad that the current government is saying that there is no more money under change. And time is to change now so that the cost treatment for many things, which I will illustrate shortly, enormous painkillers. People get arthritis, they get non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, steroid, gabapentin, tons of other things, opioids, which cloud your consciousness, side effects, kidney. That is not needed. Yoga, Ayurveda, herbal things, these all are low cost effective things that should be used. Next slide, please. So that is how it needs to be done. So we need to bring that focus so that the big tower hospitals are not just the big tower hospitals for modern medicine. It needs to be holistic medicine, with Dr. Ramesh Mehta talked this morning, and also that there is a need. We need to have where the gaps. There are a lot of paper, and I've written a paper on how gaps in modern medicine can be filled with Ayurveda. And I can share if you want that. And the whole purpose is that there is a focus on different aspects. If you have got heart attack, you're not going to be sitting and doing yoga at home. You go to hospital. So that is where it is. If you have any other emergency, you have fractured, you're not going to sit at home. So there is a place for everything. Why not we define and use different things for different things and have the protocol so that there is an evidence-based systematic approach to it. Next slide, please. So this is the model of the integrated healthcare, which include the modern medicine. It has got yoga, Ayurveda, Tai Chi, Qigong, homeopathy, music therapy, dance therapy, hypnotherapy, everything together. And that is what is called integration. So that patient get, these are all tools in the toolbox, so that all tools, when you need a screwdriver, you don't need a spanner. And if you need a spanner, you don't need a hammer. So these are different tools you use at the right time so that you get the best benefit for the patient care. Next slide, please. So the focus today is again bringing back how Ayurveda and yoga can help. And there is ample evidence. For 10 years I've dug up what is their evidence, why each thing works, why the system is poor in identifying. There is the Ayurvedic medicines have got active principles which work in a very similar way as the modern medicine or allopathic medicine. But the problem is top is different, the bottom is same. Or cellular level, at biological level, they work in a very similar way. And I will show you how this works in inflammatory bowel disease. Next slide, please. So this is the fusion system which we bring together. And if you have created a problem, you can't solve your problem the way you created. You need to think differently. When you think differently, this is the forum now today to think differently, put our energy, put our efforts together to create a system that is perfect for it. Next slide, please. Here is a depiction of how cost is being lost. Almost more than 4.8 billion, nearly 10 billion is lost on chronic pain, for which there is no painkiller till you have side effects. Almost 10 billion on diabetes. And there is no cure. You give insulin, you give metformin, and then you try and sort it out. And I'll come to a model, how do we work on it. Similar is depression, mental health problem Dr. Mehta was mentioning this morning. The anxiety, depression is all-time high. You know about mental health problems. The waiting list in the camps or in mental health is like 9 months, 12 months. By the time things become worse. So how we can prevent that? Yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, thinking, pranayama can just give oxygenation to the brain and improve the situation in such a dramatic way. And there are many other things. Let's move forward. Here is scientific evidence. Inflammatory bowel disease, which is the specialty for my gastroenterology. There's more than enough evidence. If you take this is a paper published in BMJ, British Medical Journal. If you combine each patient, there are 20,000 patients a year. Even you take 3,000 pounds expenditure on each, which is much less. If you use infliximab and the new biological, then the expenditure is mega, and that all can be prevented. And I'll show you how. Next slide, please. So here is a model. So if you think the traditional medicine, if you think of that mesalazine and sulfasalazine and adalimumab and the newer one from infliximab, that all act on 5-lipoxygenase to reduce the inflammation. On the other hand, the second part, Boswellia serrata, which is also called shellacking, has got boswellic acid in it. And this Boswellia actually has active principle which inhibit 5-lipoxygenase, which is the cause of inflammation in the bowel. If that is the case, why do we spend like 500 pounds on each biologic agent, infliximab, versus 5 pounds on Boswellia serrata? They do the same thing. So they can be additive. We are not saying we replace the modern medicine with Ayurveda. We are saying let's work hand in hand together. And same is yoga, Viprit Kanani and Mandukasana, they have been found to help. And if that is going to help, why don't we join all of these together? And this is one of the examples how we can say improve the side effects and improve the quality of care of the patient. Next slide, please. And there is multiple papers which are published on the benefits of use, because usually when you go to the NHS, you go to the commissioners, they say there is the evidence. There is evidence. It needs collection of the evidence and creating new evidence. We were talking about doing the research trial, and I'm very glad that Rishi is supportive of getting some funding for this so that we can create that evidence. Research is needed, yes, but then you need funds to do the research in this country. And I'm glad I'm the head for the medical advisory committee for Patanjali UK, and they are supporting and they are very happy if we need something, some support from India, including supply of medication, blinding of for research trial, we can get that. But let's get the ground going. Next slide, please. Chronic, when we talk about the the amount of the analgesics, amount of the biological agents that's being used, this is causing major side effects. The renal failure, the problem, the quality of life is such a big colossal cost as well as cost of life. We can change it if we do regular yoga, pranayama, increase oxygenation to the body, and also using natural plant medication, which particularly turmeric, as Dr. Mehta was talking, and I think all of us had turmeric milk. Turmeric, now I have done the evidence, turmeric has got curcumin inside, curcumin longa. This curcumin reduces TNF alpha, which is the inflammatory mediator for the joints and other inflammatory organs. It also reduces the NF kappa beta, which is one of the newer anti-inflammatory agents that's causing inflammation everywhere in the body. If that has helped us for hundreds of years, why can't we bring it? Now we have got scientific evidence. Let's bring it to the action. Next slide, please. So it's combining the benefits of the modern medicine, which is very good in particularly evidence-based practice. It's very good in acute emergency situation. It's very good in surgery. It's very good in technology. And combine it with yoga, which is again preventive aspect, natural aspect, and healing the body in that way. And also Ayurveda's perspective, which is Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and all the herbal, natural plant-based products which don't have as many side effects. So Maya is the word, modern medicine, yoga, and Ayurveda. And that's all compiled in here. Next, please. It will massively reduce the healthcare cost. And now, when they say, the review saying is now that there is no more money, we need to change the system. This is going to reduce the cost. And we go with the evidence to the commissioners. Here is the evidence. We can reduce the cost. Why are we not approving it? Next slide, please. So if we think differently, this is the way we need to think. The problems are there because currently the perspective is different. The core thinking is different. We need to change the way we think, the way the professionals think, because you go to the doctors, the current, including myself, as I was 10 years ago, and many of my colleagues, there are 120,000 doctors here who are of Indian origin, but many of them are still not believing, despite being treated by Ayurveda themselves as a child, and they're reluctant to come out and be happy and say, yes, I agree. There is changing the perspective for the people needed, because public awareness is so important. They need to really see that, yes, there is a Tatine and it works. And therefore, we need to do education and training of people. There is a need for thinking differently and bringing how chronic diseases are causing disability and long-term conditions is one of the goal of the new government to reduce the cost. So I think that's so important. We bring that together. Next slide, please. And therefore, I think there are some elephants in the room, chronic diseases, particularly, say, for example, the neurological condition, dementia, neuropathy. There is no cure in modern medicine. Even if you know that donepezil is one of the drugs that has been approved by the research for Alzheimer's disease. Now, 3 days ago, NICE has refused or rejected its approval. And therefore, this whole system of conundrum of the research and the validity of research is so important. And I think we need to work on it to bring it together. Next slide, please. So Ayurveda, the modern medicine, and yoga all together can work together. And if we work out these strengths, means underlying legs of the table rather than just the tabletop, then we'll be able to crack it and then we will have a solid ground. Next slide, please. So this book has got tons of evidence. There are more than 150 references, which are scientific papers, which support the value of different parts of yoga, Ayurveda, and how it can be interdigited or work with the modern medicine or Western medicine or allopathy, as it called. Here's a paper which I written, chronic pain. Chronic pain is one of the big problems. Sunil talked and Rishi talked about the chronic backache. There is 4.6% sickness in NHS and other because of oral rashes, because chronic backache is common and there is no cure. People go for a variety of painkillers, physiotherapy, and even nerve root injection. I had sciatica at some point in time myself. And then, I found it. What was happening? I went myself for acupuncture, for cupping therapy, for all sort of medication. I have created a product called Super Nerve Power from ginkgo biloba, which has got an ability to readjust the neurotransmitters. And that is the cause, because there is hypersensitivity to pain signals. And that is the cause of the chronic backache. So these are the things which work. So I've written that paper, which include everything that is there. And there is almost more than 40, 50 scientific references for this. Next slide, please. So these are the areas where we can work. We need to think. We are not confronting, we're not fighting against the modern medicine. We are trying to find if it's chronic pain, if it's mental health problem, it's chronic diseases, there are like need for it. Preventive medicine, personalized medicine, because there is no personalization. Now with the new genomic identification, and you can have your own genomic testing if you want. Question is, it comes out, what are you going to do about it? You have no clue. So now we can tie up the personalized, which is like your prakriti, which is like different type of dosha, vata, pitta, kapha, which is similar to or equivalent to the genomes in this. And then within that, each person's individuality can be done. And so that rich people want personalized treatment. And therefore, if we combine the two, we can get that. Next slide, please. So here are different areas which are actually quite systematically indicated using the probiotics, using tons of these things which are there. The herbal medicine is there, but yoga, thinking, breathing, because chronic lung disease, post-COVID fatigue syndrome, if you do your proper yoga and pranayama itself, we have, because I've been part of teaching to a group of online yoga for nearly 2 years during the COVID time, and every week I have found people saying significant improvement. We didn't have method of collecting the data economically, but 40% people have improved within a period of 6 to 9 months. That is a good enough evidence. Now we need to the next level. So there is more than enough. Next slide, please. This is a model of diabetes. So if you think modern medicine uses insulin, metformin, and that is because there is reduced availability of insulin in the body to drive the blood sugar from the blood into this, and high blood sugar is the cause of diabetes, and then leads to complications. On the other hand, if we can use Google, or we can use Madhunasham and rest of the stuff, which are plant-derived product. And this is, or Gudunga, this is known to increase the insulin sensitivity in the cells themselves and also increase the insulin production. And the same way, when you do Mandukasana, which is when you're sitting down and you're bending there and you're putting your hands here and breathing out, you are squeezing the residual insulin from pancreas. Why wouldn't you do it? It's a natural, simple, no cost effective intervention. We should do that. And similar are many other things which I would probably describe. And there is no problem. These are all simple things. We can continue our modern medicine treatment, use this side by side, and we find over a period of time, the need for the anti-diabetes medicine will go down. And there you can safely stop it. Next slide, please. We've been promoting it. I'm the health editor for Healing Our Earth, which is a platform created a few years ago. And we are constantly doing public education, awareness, and training on how these things scientifically can benefit people so that people at one stage will stop using the medicines which are given free in this country and go and ask commissioners to give them approval for the natural and method as well as the plant-derived products which is there. So multiple of these, and these are people across the globe which are being used. Next slide, please. Which are actually doing food. The Ayurveda diet is such a good thing that so many, there are hot foods, there are cold foods. And because if the vata imbalance, you need to eat hot food rather than cold food because that's how system works. If you think of allopathic medicine, there is no hot food, no cold food. According to that, hot food is when it's hot in temperature, cold food is when it is in the fridge. And or it is hot food is when it's McDonald's. So that's kind of a different thing. But there is no identification of the nature of food and nature of body and combining them together to cure diseases. So we have done multiple of these and we have got fantastic response. There are almost like 50, 60,000 people who have told me they have massively benefited from what we have taught or I have. This is a new program, 100 Fibro program. Fibromyalgia is a condition. There is no cure in allopathic medicine. Even people don't recognize it, but now officially by parliament, it is a recognized entity. So we have a chap called Anil Sharma. You might know him. He comes on MATV very often. I and him have sat together for hours to create this program, 100 Fibro program. This is an open challenge. Anybody can do a referral, free treatment. And this is by passing certain points in the body and readjusting the nerves and the neurotransmission. So I am happy for people to do a referral. Next slide, please. We have done a proper scientific research within the University of Birmingham to know the awareness of the health professionals within the NHS because that's the thing. And the results have just been out 2 weeks ago. The paper is going to be written now. So it's gone to university for approval. This is the thing, 63% of the doctors, nurses, and other health professionals do not know much about Ayurveda. And around, I think, 74% want to know about Ayurveda. So to derive, we are going to derive and design some modules for training of allopathic practitioners about the fundamentals of Ayurveda and how that can be used as a bolt-on to fill the gaps. Next slide, please. So these are the challenges as we have discussed through the morning, that there is a gap about the evidence base. There is a gap. There is also the public awareness gap. There is the professionals awareness gap. We do not have enough research trial. We don't have randomized controlled trial that we talked about. If you're doing yoga versus something else, how you can say, how can you do blinding? There's no chance. And similarly, many medications, but there is a possibility. So we can design, and we have designed the trial, which I will share at some point in time. There's also the other gaps, which are in terms of personalization, in terms of how system can be used about it, and then we can bring this science which is very good in preventive care, holistic care, personalized care, with better education, better training, and change in the thinking. Next slide, please. This is a 9-step formula that I have designed, and I don't just read it, but basically it encapsulates that if we collect the evidence, and we have designed a form for those 600 practitioners which are in their country, so that we can collect all the evidence in the same universal platform, in the same form, which include their all history as we do in our medical science. In the same way, the investigation is done from their GP or somewhere. In the same way, their prakriti, whatever doshas, and also what treatment was given, what has worked, what has not worked, and also if they are using Ayurvedic treatment, what is working, what is not working, so that we can compile it all together and then create a solid evidence that is surrogate marker. Next slide, please. So this is the thing, that it's integration, it's not replacement, bringing everything together so as to give the best care. And I will probably stop it here. Thank you so much. Right.
Just go back 3-4 slides for me, please, Josh. Go back 3-4 slides. That's it here.